Okay, we're back. Thank you, Mr. Arthur Simon, for the 13 months. I'm waiting to still find out what's going on, though, since we don't know if... Because basically we're at a bit of an awkward roadblock, right? Like, if ESL is actually going to cast all of the qualifying matches one by one, then we are completely done. There's nothing left we're going to be allowed to cast. That being said, I hope that they're not going to do that, so we can at least cast one or two of these qualifying matches. For example, Lenok versus Classic or Gumiho, or alternatively maybe even catch Snoot versus TAiLS, which would be really funny because it'd be like a server reversal of what they normally play, right?
Hmm. Well, I guess we're just gonna wait and see.
Yeah, I messaged them on Skype as well, so I'm hoping we get a response.
Apparently, big news on Reddit, because Reddit is my news source. Not gonna lie. I used to go to Yahoo, so Fidel Castro is dead. Oh.
Oh yeah, I read that earlier. That's surprising.
Yeah, I don't have much more to say about it, but a lot of people are freaking out. All right.
Okay, so they are gonna cast. Excuse me. They are going to cast every round of 8 match, but I'm trying to find out if we're going to be allowed to cast any of them. If we aren't, then the only match available for us is going to be the winner of Snoot and Pet versus TAiLS. So we will have at least one best of 3 left, guys. At least. I'm hoping. They might also change. They've changed things on the fly before too, so I don't really know.
Apparently, there's another mass protest in Seoul. Maybe I could go there after this. Be like, oh, this is what a protest is like. Yep. I don't think I've ever been to another protest.
I feel like that's like a semi-dangerous thing to want to do. Isn't the president already getting impeached or something though? I think Golden was talking about it, right? Like.
Yeah. I don't think it's dangerous though. Like I've heard like a ton of people will be like, "Are you near there? Is it dangerous? Is it scary?" And it's like, I feel like if I was in Detroit and there were protests, it'd be scary. Even DC protests aren't that scary because my friends have been to a couple. And the Korean ones are especially not scary. Everyone's been very polite. I like Doa went and held the candle thingy they were doing.
So, Snoot's offline. Does it mean TAiLS already has an opponent? TAiLS not in a game. So I'm not sure. Still haven't had a response back on if we're allowed to keep casting the Renovate or not. The TAiLS match should be available.
Okay. TAiLS actually doing pretty well. Might be a fun matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I just messaged him. I literally said, "Dude, you're doing very well today." Like, it's a bit surprising. He's actually on deck. If he wins his next series, he goes on to the qualifying match. And the fact they already beat Sue means like going up against either Pet or Snoot, that actually looks viable for TAiLS.
Yeah. Huh?
But yeah, unfortunately, we have the awkward limbo of waiting to see what's going on. That Pet's not in a game, and Snoot's been offline for a few minutes, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. What's the mainstream doing right now? I guess Neve versus Biel.
Maybe. Hold on. We'll continue shortly. That's who they're casting.
Okay. Shout out to the BaseTradeTV peeps, by the way. I just looked at the stream list. Like, we got a lot of people streaming today, and that's always a good thing. But you got ESL at 4K. Okay, that's expected. They're the mainstream. But we got 1,500 with the next highest being 500. Yo, thank you guys for tuning in. You're awesome. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. I think it's Pet versus TAiLS. I don't have confirmation on that. I got no clue. I'm trying to find out, though, as we speak.
Alright. Time will tell. I
Hopefully
don't know what I'm
not
gonna
too
do
much
after
time,
this though. Like, I joked about going to the protests, but that might actually be the only thing to do. Like, I'm not hungry, and I slept up until this point, so I'm not tired.
I also expected this to go on way longer. This is like a 2.5 hour, almost 3 hour cast. I didn't expect us to get stopped so soon even report of it, but that lonely single life in Korea, yo.
Yeah. Maybe I should get Tinder.
I'm like 100% sure if you were really that bored, you'd just be like, yo, party, you want to get chicken? Just like hit them up real
That's a
quick.
good point, actually. He DMs me. What's up? Buy me chicken. So I'm not hungry. What's up? Go to the zoo with me. Oh, that'd be closed. Oh, damn.
Well, Solar beat Hurricane 2-0, so that'll move him forward. Good job, Solar.
Cool, cool.
So Solar goes to the qualifying match, where he'll play the winner of TAiLS versus his opponent, which we are still not sure is if it's Pet or not. Wesley Hill just subbed to the channel. Thank you so much for the new sub, dude.
Yep. We have some pro-Terran analysis going on in our chat, which is interesting. Pope
Yeah.
Bunny and Muslim.
Sharing opinions on. I think this started off of our discussion of like seeing tanks versus not seeing tanks.
Yeah, who's not seeing tanks.
What's interesting
I mean,
is
again,
to just share some of our perspective here. Like I haven't actually been reading this conversation too in depth, so if I'm reiterating anything or if I'm straight up wrong, my apologies. But the games we got to see out of the top dogs group that had tanks made tanks look incredibly good. Now, I know they can't be picked up, and Corsair Gear can Shrek a tank that can't be moved. I get it. There's a lot of weaknesses to tanks still, but their damage has just been so nice to see. So, I have no clue whether they are... Oh, TAiLS in the lobby. Invite, please. Whether tanks are going to be the next hot deal or not, but they look pretty good from what we've seen.
yeah. I think the old problem that has existed even back in Heart of the Swarm was like, if you got tanks, then of course you're taking away a bit of bio. And it was actually like a balancing act of, well, the tanks are in decent enough position, then they're going to be the key unit, but if not, then you don't have a lot of bio to cover them. That old back and forth, right? And especially, like, it's the Void, where there's, like, or Corrosive Biles, I guess, maybe it just really isn't worth going for tanks, because you can't get that many. And it wouldn't be worth it, because they die with only, like, 2 shots apiece. I just don't know if that is actually true. Because if you stagger them, and you get a wall, like, on Daybreak, which used to be the way to do things, it's actually a new way to play, positioning-wise, then, like, the tanks should still be getting shots off. So... I'd say right now it seems like they're talking about, like, how they'll set timings and keep the tank count low, and it's not even worth trying to get too many of them and whatnot. I just don't know if that's going to be the way to go. Might be the way it is now, and it looks like kind of sucky, but obviously without tanks isn't working too well either. We just saw both Terrans die, so what answer is there?
Well, folks, we're getting into another game, and this is a best of 3, but this also may be the last thing we get to cast tonight. I'm still waiting for confirmation, but it does sound like ESL is going to cast all the qualifying matches one at a time. And if that's the case, there's not going to be room for a second English stream. Sad face. This does suck a bit, because I also slept right up until this, expecting this to be like a really long cast today. No complaints on a shorter cast, but I've been having a really fun time tonight, so sad that this might be our last game.
If only we could make more money on ads, am I right?
Well, spawning here in the bottom left side of the map, man. Fricey made more money with us tonight. Like that's like a year's worth of ads. Yeah, like
Bye.
to see you guys later. All right. Anyways, bottom left side of the map. It's gonna be the red Protoss player TAiLS.
In the top right is the blue Zerg. He is Pet.
Alright, so Pet sadly makes me remember Patreus, who doesn't play the game anymore, and now I'm really sad. I don't want to cast. But
Really? That's sad?
in all seriousness, we do need to talk about the matchup a little bit in terms of what's going on with TAiLS. This dude beat Sue, and he beat him pretty quick. He also won his side of the entire bracket and has been sitting here waiting for an opponent for a very long time. Pet managed to struggle out over Snoot and his ZVZ, of course, and get here in his own due time, but I want to know what magic is going on with TAiLS. part of this might be TAiLS gets to play on the Korean server for once. But every time we see TAiLS, he's playing cross-server. He's coming to Europe at like 4 a.m. Korea time. Nothing goes well for him, and his playstyle kind of reflects that.
Yeah, that is true. He has a lot of limiting factors. But even when he's playing in the IEM League, which is not that bad time, it's like a little late technically. But it could actually be like right now, so not even that late. He didn't look that good. And then, you know, he had that one IEM League which he won, and it was like, oh shit, well maybe he's actually pretty good. Or maybe it was PvP, because he won the finals and semifinals off of PvP, which explains his win against Super. Or maybe he's getting better. And it just seems like with this IEM qualifier, especially if he wins against Pet here, it might just be that TAiLS is like legitimately getting better. Like he's, I don't know, maybe practicing more, maybe just getting the groove of things. Because he has been playing a long time. He never stopped playing entirely, but...
Well, there's actually, so I think of players like Semper with Legacy of the Void launching. I think of Ryung with several of the balance changes. Like, there are players who were at best mediocre that actually became pretty darn good with small tweaks to the game, perhaps just being a little bit more in their groove. And that might be the thing for TAiLS. Maybe the new Stargate and the new carriers is everything he ever dreamed for, and then more, then some.
Yeah. I would say that Pet, if he could, asking Sue what happened would have been like very good interest, because I feel like in some other cases you know what the Protoss probably did, because Protoss was doing Adepts all the time, or they were always going for Immortal to Archon, right? Like, you kind of knew. But no, with the new patch, with the way things have been looking, I would be like, definitely ask the guy what happened, because in my mind I would have thought the Adept surprised Sue, who was trying to go to Galata Hydras.
Well, Void Ray is going to be the first thing popping out of TAiLS. Maybe he's embracing his inner Arthur. I don't know. The Void Ray, of course, just reminding everybody, didn't really get a lot of changes. Its movement speed was tweaked in like a very like decimal point ratio. It's not that much faster, but it is faster.
Yeah. This might have been the way that TAiLS actually beat Sue. It was not like some weird Adept attack or Sue playing badly or overestimating the new upgrades, but yeah, air.
I really want to see some
not
magic come out of this.
Yeah.
So, we've been talking a lot about Hydras all night. We've seen them in action as well. And while Hydras are really almost OP looking in a lot of regards, again, if you get to carriers, if you can get to that air army, Protoss still wins out in the late game. And we've seen this going up against Infestors and Vipers and everything being thrown at them with nothing that could stop them.
Mm-hmm.
So, can TAiLS get to that point? Will TAiLS even aim for that point? He's actually going for really fast Templar Archives, and I'm guessing, presuming, really fast Storms in anticipation of either Lings, Banelings, or more, again, importantly, Hydras.
I don't think this could possibly be Storms, because he's going for a Gateway all-in, and Storm would be too long of a research upgrade, I think. But if you're going to go for Archons, why not the Dark Templars that we usually see?
Well, that's the thing I'm not convinced it's going to be for Archons. I think it's really is just that emphasis on Storms. And that might just be the thing to do. Like, you may just have to rush Storms to deal with Hydras.
But he's absolutely going for a Gateway all-in right now. There's no way he would get Storm in.
You're right. You're right.
It's just, it's so bizarre.
I guess
maybe he's taking into account, like, the gas over minerals thing?
Well, maybe it's the difference of cost, but also it might just simply be so he does have a transition. Like, if you go to Dark Shrine, you don't really have a transition out of that. Whereas with the with the Templar Archives, you do. You can start Storm. Sure, it'll be later, but you will at least be able to start it.
In that case, I would have really loved for this not to have been a true all-in, you know? Like, 5 gateways, not 8 gateways.
Yeah.
But maybe it still works. I mean, he's attacking before the Hydra number is high with units that are good against Hydras, which is what I thought he did versus Sue. I just thought it was Adepts.
This isn't charge lots, though, so it's going to actually be difficult to fight set Hydras. One of the Archons is about to die as well. The Void Ray's gone. He warps in Stalkers. Like, I'm not sure what TAiLS is doing, but the blitzy attack is kind of working so far. The scariest thing about this is the Hydras are not going to be coming out all at the same place and not all at the same time, so he'll be able to pick some of these off 2 or 3 at a time.
Yeah, exactly. And they won't have their upgrades either. If they have the range, their micro's really good. If they have the speed boost, then again, their micro can be really good. But they don't have any of that. So, you know, even if they did, it still would be questionable.
It's not quite here yet. Transfuse is going into the Hydras, the little health that they have. The Warp Prism's still alive at the backside of this. Drone's got pulled. He's going to pick up and drop some of these units. That micro out of TAiLS isn't looking too shabby. Is this working though? It's still too close and too tough to tell. As you pointed out, it's kind of an all-in out of TAiLS. So if this falls apart, there's not going to be a plan B. That being said, Pet's lost so much of the defense so far.
But if his Hydras live, then I think he just has too good of an army.
Yeah, I think this might just barely be in the favor of Pet.
Yeah. It's insane though, like TAiLS was... He was blitzing, and it looked like it was going to work if Pet... I don't know, like if Pet, doesn't micro his Hydras, if they all come out, like again, like 3 at a time, rallied the wrong direction, that type of deal. He managed to get a clump of them, which is what's important.
This might actually work. So I was about to say this is wishful thinking. However, the Hydras are really low and going to be exposed in the middle of the map off of creep. So the Adepts could actually catch them and kill them.
It'd be risky for both players, really. I think the Hydras would win with the GPS, but I'm not sure, and neither of them are going to take the actual engagement. So you're talking about the Storm, and that is going to be his backup plan. But it's a case where he can't get a third base too easily, I don't think, because once he sees that the third is on the way and Pet does have a Ling over there, he'll probably just make like 20 Lings and like continue to poke at it. But I think Pet might just deal with another all-in.
Another funny thing that goes hand in hand with this, I didn't even consider, there's not going to be detection for TAiLS. Like, he's not going to have an observer. There's no... I mean, maybe you get that out of the Robo, but I think you're thinking, if anything, another Warp Prism. Like, those Lurkers could actually be real nasty to deal with.
Yeah. That is certainly true. I mean, I think it's going to be a really big surprise for TAiLS that Pet reached for Lurkers so quickly. Like, I don't know if that's what Zergs are going to be doing. This might just be a response to this specific game. So TAiLS is going to be surprised. I like that it's so different, though. Like, I really like that TAiLS did a different game. And the Fast Storms, maybe they're, like, genius. That would be pretty cool. But I don't know what they're going to do against Lurkers. They're attacking before Lurkers, so that might not be an issue.
Well, the Lurker aspect aside, these Storms are going to be hard to land. As we saw before, the range lets them pick off the Templar pretty far away. The Storms actually don't have that much range on them, but that being said, moves out of them pretty quickly. Lurker Egg gets picked off and killed. TAiLS going to keep pushing with the Adept all in. It's kind of scary because it might just work.
Yeah, he should actually just surround the Hydras, not to get all the Adepts attacking, but just to stop. He doesn't even need the Storms. Never mind. Adept's good. Hydras, okay.
That's game.
Not good enough here.
What? TAiLS. TAiLS takes game number 1.
Love it. Good job, TAiLS.
What I like about this though is like it's almost it's one of those things where like it's so crazy it might just work. You're like an Adept all in to a failed all in. No way that could work. Or it's just so crazy that it might work.
Out of a full Korean bracket with so many good names, TAiLS is the kid that gets out. That'd be so weird.
I would really like that though. That'd be a really interesting way to have the patch hit and kind of show, but also he's like the one Protoss who's making things work. We're really good Protoss players. You take some of the best European Protoss. We've been watching Mana. We're watching Drogo. We're watching Korean players. Oh, yeah, you got to join.
Oh.
I can't real ID back in. Oh, that's awkward. There you go. What was I saying before? Yeah, Drogo Mana, and we're watching even better Protoss players in Korea, like just through this bracket alone, die to Zerg, like really badly too. So. It's to me cool to have somebody like TAiLS, let's be honest, like the underdog player to be the guy to show everyone else how to play.
Of course, he is being the guy by all-inning, which that is the way of things, isn't it? Like, you're having trouble, someone's going to come out with this really good all-in, and then everyone's going to do the all-in until it's figured out again, and then you're back to, well, how do we play a macro game? Because I felt like that's what the beginning of Legacy Void was for Protoss.
Of life.
Yeah, kind of. So, TAiLS is that guy right now. Like, definitely get that build, do it if you don't have any other answers to the Zerg on your ladder, but will it be the thing to do in a year? Definitely not.
Well, I want to say that, but we've had some... Ooh, excuse me. Oh, that hiccup really hurt. Oh. I was going gonna say, TBT, for example, strategy kind of solidified. And, oh, we didn't have any revolutionary builds for the entire expansion. But
Protoss?
no, Terran versus Terran.
Oh,
So I'm just saying
I see what you're saying.
There's always a chance that a build will be the best or the way to play. Maybe this is a year from now what we're going to keep seeing. I don't know. But in the bottom right side, we got the blue Zerg player on his last life. Pet.
In the top left is the red Protoss. He is TAiLS. And I think a better equivalent would actually be the Immortal Sentry all-in.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying with the TBT. But even that, like, TBT is such a dynamic matchup that aggression is usually not all-in, and aggression can lead to macro, whereas, like, Gen and then Protoss 2-base all-ins, it's, like, not going to lead to macro. It's just seriously an all-in. So that was definitely the Immortal Sentry, and that thing lasted for a year. And sure, you could argue, like, well, there was, like, really important tweaks to it, you know? It wasn't the same Soul Train you saw, you know, a year ago, but it was the same all-in.
No, that's
just don't even try.
That's definitely a way better example. I was thinking recent examples, but you're right. Like, that's solidified the BB thing for so long. It's like the Forge Fast Expand, right? Like, it was the only way to play.
Yeah, which we do have a Forge here.
And
it's late, but it's happening.
You don't expect it. It's the sneaky Forge
so
build.
Crazy.
Everyone knows this build.
God.
Don't you know this build, Son of a Grove?
I love that TAiLS is getting, like, it wasn't that we watched him play super weird and he died and we were like, crazy TAiLS when he was losing in all the online tournaments. He was just trying macro and he would die and he'd be like, well, poor TAiLS, I guess he's bad. Like, to be really harsh. So for him to suddenly be the guy doing weird shit, like, kudos. Like, be that guy in the new patch.
Yeah, I'm all for it. Especially, again, TAiLS, like the underdog Protoss. If it gets him wins, I'm more happy than anything else.
Yeah. Well, this cannon rush, okay, it's scouted, but the hatch is already done, and the lings aren't out to deal with the cannons.
I mean, mineral cost efficiency, it's going to be a little bit worse for TAiLS, but that being said, shutting down a third base from Zerg is huge. That's a lot of larva that's not going to be made. Drones will be lost.
Yeah.
Lings are being made right now to deal with the cannons too. I mean, this is costing Pet one way or the other.
Also, to take a base elsewhere as a third base on Echo is kind of difficult to do. The fourth bases get kind of far out, so that would be like a constant denial. But the Baneling Bust response, I would like it. Unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit late because speed isn't exactly the fastest thing coming here. It's only halfway done. TAiLS might be able to get a couple of units to help out. He at least is going to have a Mothership Core, which was delayed here.
Concern is, though, this still might not... like. Let's assume it's a Void Ray, because he did that last time, right? Okay, that can shoot forever. The Oracle's going to get a lot more damage done. Kill the Lings a lot faster.
He would need to build a cannon like 5 seconds ago. Because, of course, he's probably wondering, like, why isn't he trying to save his third base? Unfortunately, I don't think he's... Okay, he's actually looking for it, but his Stargate won't even have time to build, okay, apparently a Void Ray. Speed's about to finish up. The Baneling's going first.
Oh, that Mothership Core is not
here.
reached to overcharge anything. He's going to try and build... he tried to go for some city behind it, but that's everything. That pylon was like the artosiest pylon you could ask for.
That's actually a game.
That is GG.
GG. That was a good response. I really liked it.
It was. That ties it up, though, 1-1, and sends us to game number 3. And again, I would like to emphasize, guys, I do believe this is the last thing we can cast today. We still haven't received an official response. But if ESL is going to be casting all the matches one at a time, chances are we're not going to be allowed.
Well, not going to miss the train this time. I'm waiting to join that lobby.
Yeah, just got too. But yeah, so regardless of whether this is the last game or maybe they'll let us sneak into another one, guys, I would like to thank you all for joining us tonight on the IEM Qualifier Cast. There's going to be 3 of these in total, and we plan to be casting every single one of them. Whether it's a long night or a short night, we'll be there. I just don't love that they all start at 1 a.m.
I joined off of you. Yeah.
Yeah. TAiLS just left though. I'm not sure what relogging or what. But yeah, let's talk about our schedule, actually. We have a lot of stuff coming up. So, obviously, there's the IEM qualifiers we're casting now, and in fact, we'll even be casting the Top Dogs finals once that rolls around. But we're planning a lot of stuff for December. If you guys haven't seen, like, we got a Corsair Cup coming up on Monday, of course, as per usual. Top Dogs will take place in the last day of the month. Or the last 2 days of the month, excuse me. But going into December, we've got a lot of events coming up. We got a new Korean weekly event. We got the Yord tournament going on. Corsair Cups are going to continue as per usual. We got a lot of stuff happening in December. So if you aren't already following the channel, maybe you're new tonight for whatever reason, I hope you hit that follow button and join us for all of December.
Yeah.
Closing in on that 70,000 follower mark. But,
Ooh,
we're also at 16.5 million channel views, which is pretty freaking cool, too. But alright, we found ourselves on Whirlwind. Things are tied up 1-1. And this time, hopefully, I won't die to a hiccup in the middle of an introduction. Because on the top left side, we've got the blue Zerg player, Pets.
In the bottom left is the red Protoss. He is TAiLS.
Okay, so even in the game we just saw, I still, even though he lost pretty miserably at that, I still like what TAiLS is doing. I still like that TAiLS went for the cannon rush. This is a player who we've been, I will say, for lack of a better phrase, like bored with. And not because he plays boringly, but I'm bored of watching him lose. I want to see him win. So even though he's not guaranteed to win this against Pet, it's still really cool that he's made it this far. The next round after this is a qualifying match, so if he can take that one step further, even better.
Yeah. Well, he's tried two tricky things. The Archon into Storm was super cool. I guess he could do that again, because it just looked really effective against what Zergs are doing nowadays. But I don't know about the Cannon Rush doing it again. He could. Like, it's 3-hatch again, like this huge map, 4-player map too. Pet's totally usually in the right to do this 3-hatch, but TAiLS could try and do the Cannon Rush and then just make sure to have, more than one pylon covering everything, as well as defensive cannon automatically. But he'd have to decide. It was around now he was getting it, I think. So I don't think he's not going to Forge.
Feel sad, man.
Why?
No crazy weird tactics.
Yeah, well, not in the early game at least, but I still have, and I still think that TAiLS is gonna go for something crazy on 2 bases. If he plays 3 base macro, I think he just dies. Not to be too rude.
So I guess while we're not casting it right now, there's like a Neeb game with carriers, according to chat. I guess it's a little bit fun to talk about because, hey, we got some more bits. Thank you, Tom. Dude, Tom has been donating bits relentlessly. What a nice guy. What I was going to say, though, was carriers have received a buff in terms of they're basically almost air swarm hosts now. Not quite free units, but 5 minerals and interceptor kind of might as well be free units.
They're air salvaged bunkers, basically free.
I like that. That's actually better. That's you know how Joey does like the how it looks, how it feels things. He needs to not even how it looks, how it feels. Just like make a carrier with a bunker model constantly just being salvaged over and over on a loop. Then shooting out not interceptors but like swarm hosts, not locusts but swarm hosts, like being shot out.
Beautiful. It'd be like a tapestry being woven.
I want to see that so badly now.
It's gonna be a Voider opener again. This is what he did on Overgrowth, and then he went for the Robo and a Twilight Council. So far so good for that all in again. This time Pet's gonna go for Roaches though, which is arguable that's any better. Like the Archons are still gonna get them like all clumped together and do some decent damage. I think they are better than just Mass Hydra, but like good micro, maybe still a surprise. For instance, if Pet's overloads all get cleaned up, maybe it's actually not the best solution.
Although apparently we had somebody named Tinbits sub, but I didn't see it in chat for some reason. So thank you, Tinbits, for the sub. That was real.
Tidbits?
Man, I wish Tim Hortons was open 24/7. Because the greatest thing for me after this would be like finish up the cast and go get some Timbits.
So we don't have Tim Hortons here, but we do have Dunkin' Donuts and Krispy Kreme. And those are all open 24/7. And Taco Bell.
Yeah, the Dunkin' Donuts actually in Korea was surprisingly, I guess, easy. I thought there'd be no, like, maybe a McDonald's type thing. Like, I didn't think there'd be a lot of American restaurants, but there really were a lot.
I was telling. It's also like Dunkin' Donuts here is more of a bakery than Dunkin' Donuts at home.
He's doing the same thing, by the way. That one.
Yes, he is. And that's why pet adapting and adding in roaches might just be the solution. I actually don't know, because if the Void Ray helps out, if the Archons get the damage done, roaches are still, questionable. Not the immediate defense, but I think they're better than going for fast Hydras. I really do. And TAiLS might just be pushed back again. But he was pushed back the first time, and then he just followed up and won anyway, so we'll see.
Bit of trouble back at home. Excuse me for the cough, guys. Lings actually do break through. There's nothing to defend. TAiLS could recall, or he could burn a warp in, but either way, he takes away a lot of power from his front line by doing so. Void Ray will wreck the Spine Crawler. The Warp Prism also picking up the Archons to keep them alive a little bit longer. Everything here is getting really bad, though, because Ling's down the main. Couple of Zealots warping in. Not sure if this will actually be enough to clean this up or not. It looks like not going to be the case.
Yeah.
Mothership Core could have recalled and overcharged at some point. Like
she was being targeted first, and then they swapped over to the Void Ray. That's why it went down.
Okay, well, so while he does stabilize, this did pull him away. However, this also gives the Archons times to get some of their shields back, and round 2 might be on the way. Void Ray dying was very unfortunate.
I think this is just game, because he wasn't being countered, first of all. Like, Pet had such a hard time dealing with the first attack, even when he did eventually push it back, that he got to Storm. Well, he's not going to get to Storm here. He's actually going for Charge instead, which is interesting, I guess, because it is Roaches, not Hydras, but it's not.
Ooh, Mothership Core going down is going to be pretty nasty.
Oh, an Oracle.
Oracle wouldn't be bad if there were no Queens up here. Honestly, if it's just the Roaches and the Ravagers, I actually like the Oracle pick, but it's picked off right away, and despite our hopes and our dreams for the underdog player TAiLS, it's looking not good. Pet with 74 army supply, Roaches and Ravagers is pushing into the base. That Stargate's going to fall in a second too, so all production is going to be lost, and all hope will disappear. The Immortal comes out, but as you see, even that's not going to be enough. Micro capabilities around the Warp Prism are really cool. He's doing a lot of great pick up and drop Micro, but it's not going to be enough to save him the game.
No, it is not. Oh, that leaves us with still at least one Protoss.
All the qualifying matches are going to be Zerg.
2 Protoss. Sorry, Classic and Hero both still in it.
All right, well, that's going to be the 2-1 for Pet. So, nicely done. He'll move on to the qualifying match where he plays against Lenok, I believe. No, Classic's down there versus Lenok. Excuse me, this was a different part of the bracket. He'll move on to the qualifying match where he'll play against Solar. So, still a ZVZ, nonetheless.
I guess there's still quite a few Protosses, actually. I was just looking at the quarterfinals, but out of 16, Neeb and Patience. Yeah. Still trying.
Well, I think 4 qualifying matches are about to come down, but I don't believe we're going to be allowed to cast any of them, guys. I'm going to try and get some confirmation during the commercial break. If I can't, I'm just going to assume it's a no, because that's usually how it works. So, one way or the other, we'll be back in 2 minutes, either to say our goodbyes or to continue casting. Regardless, I thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you soon. Alright, guys, we're back. Thanks for watching. I do believe we're going to be calling it here, though, as I've still gotten no response, and frankly, with every IEM qualifier ever before this, they've had a pretty standard practice about doing it. I wouldn't expect them to change it now. But thank you guys for watching. What we'll do is we'll say our goodbyes here, and we'll host the IEM stream, the ESL stream, excuse me. So if you guys do enjoy our chat, I'll even leave the bot up. So if mods are awake, they can do bets. You guys can at least earn partoofs, but you can watch in a decent chat community, I guess, because the ESL channel is usually not so great for their chat. I say that with all politeness, but just truth speaking intended. It was a really great cast today. Again, MVP of the night's got to go to Fricey, man. It's hard to sit here believing we got $2,200 in donations tonight. Like that.
It's crazy.
That doesn't happen unless we're like raising money for like Rifkin breaking both his arms. You know what I'm saying? Like that just doesn't happen. So if you're still lurking around, man, like for whatever it's worth, you made our nights, dude. Tom hit us up with 500 more bits as well. Thank you, constantly slamming us with those bits, dude. Really appreciated it as well. But as we said, this is going to be the end. So Zombie Grub is currently in Korea. Before we do the sponsor shoutouts, do you want to just, I guess, explain your situation to the fans that don't know?
I love doing this. I'm in Korea for a month. I'm living in an apartment and generally casting from PC cafes. I'll go home close to Christmas.
Yeah, and she's even going to be trying to attend IEM
Gyeonggi.
How you pronounce this? So that'll be kind of cool. Hopefully we'll get some good pictures and video. And she's been vlogging a lot too, so you should be following our YouTube channel if you want to see more of Zombie Grub in Korea. That being said, though, our sponsors deserve some love. Well, they don't sponsor IEM. They do sponsor us and help us make things happen. Pig, you're hosting us at the wrong time, bro. I hope you had a good time at the Pigsty Cup. But my suggestion would be to go host something up. How's it pronounced?
Pigsty?
I thought it was Pigsty. Pigsty?
Isn't it pigsty? Like,
you know
like
what?
a pigsty?
That would make a lot more sense. Anyways, thank you, Pig, for the host. But yeah, go find somebody else. We are wrapping it up, dude. Woodwatches.com/base. We're actually halfway to our goal and over $500 raised towards another tournament with the Yords. So that should be some good times. With holidays and shopping and all this coming up, make sure to check their discounts. I think they're up to 10% now. Even if the website says 5%, I think it's 10%. CheersForGaming.com, CheersForGaming.ca. If you live in the United States and you want a chair, I don't know why I did that accent. Go to Chairs for Gaming. Or you're trying to sell some chairs. Corsair Gaming's got all the links down below. Click on them if you want to check out their awesome gear. And last but not least, G2A is actually doing a giveaway. ! Giveaway in chat if you guys want to have a chance to win some of those codes. But use promo code BASE, get 3% cash back on any of your purchases. But again, that does end the stream, guys. So follow the channel. Make sure to go to our YouTube, youtube.com/BaseTradeTV, and all this other good stuff. Again, we're going to be hosting the ESL stream, so you can watch the rest of the qualifying matches and chill here on the channel if you'd like. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow for, again, round 2 of the IEM qualifiers. Same start time, same Twitch channel. Just trying to think if there's anything else to really talk about. We have like a whole day off, dude. I don't even know. Like, you're saying, what are you going to do for the rest of the day? What am I going to do with an entire actual day? I've got a whole day ahead of me.
I don't know. I'll figure something amazing to do.
Cowtown Langley. I'll go. Got nothing I can do. All right. Have a good one, guys, and good night.